What is going on YouTube? It is Old Psycho and I am back with another video. So, bro, I recorded this video at least 2 times and I went back and I realized that there was no audio recorded for any of those fucking videos. So this is my third fucking time recording it. I went with a new structure. I usually go in with bullet points and stuff like that so I don't get fly off track because I kind of have a stuttering issue as you can see. As you can see. So I have like bullet points just keep me on track and shit like that. So I've been rewatching a lot of ReZero lately with a friend because ReZero season 3 is out and they never seen ReZero before, and you know they're gonna hear me talking about it all the time. So I'm like, hey, let me get you into ReZero. We're almost at the end of season 1, and there was a when we got to the part with Betelgeuse, is that how you say it? Betelgeuse. They made a comment that kind of stuck out to me when it was like, "Are you sure this isn't a horror anime?" And I started thinking about it. I'm like, "Huh, yeah, it kind of is." On the surface, ReZero, it looks like your average isekai. Like this guy, he gets sucked into a fantasy world, he gets a cool power, and the adventure begins. Now, what makes this show different is that it kind of uncovers, explores the respawn mechanic in video games. But the thing is, Subaru kind of feels everything. And the further you go, like the more horrifying it gets with what they do to Subaru and like the just the shit that they put him through. So right from the first few episodes, ReZero throws a fucking curveball. Subaru's first death isn't just shocking, it sets the tone. We're showing every agonizing second of his first defeat. He's freaking the fuck out, he's confused, and like he has no idea what's going on. And when Super wakes up after dying, it's not relief, it's confusing because it's instant to him. Now, in a lot of isekai, death doesn't really feel like it has that much weight. Honestly, thinking about it, death doesn't really, yeah, it doesn't really hold like a big issue in other isekais. Like, I mean, like other characters will die and stuff like that, but there's very few anime that I've seen that kind of explore death and what it can do to a person, not just to the person dying, but to the people around them. And with Subaru, like he isn't just resetting a timeline, he's carrying the trauma of every death with him, and that trauma starts stacking up even from the very first loop. As we move further into the story, ReZero hits us with kind of crucial realizations. Not just about Subaru dying, it's about the consequences of those deaths. Every time he dies, he's forced to relive everything, like the suffering, and the longer this goes on, the more broken. What makes this truly terrifying is that Subaru starts to lose hope. You can see in his eyes in his breakdown. Like honestly, if I was Subaru, I would have gave up a long time ago. And by this point in season 1, he's not just physically dying, his mind is starting to break. One of the most emotionally devastating moments comes when Subaru watches Rem, the girl who stood by his side, die protecting him. This is after everything happened with the mob beast, and they start to become closer after that event. At this point, Subaru is realizing that it's not just his life on the line, it's his friends. So at first, he was mainly concerned about Milia, but as the story goes on, he starts to become concerned for everybody around him. So like Rem, the village, the kids, and stuff like that. This scene marks a turning point for Subaru. The stakes go beyond just survival for himself. It's about who he loses along the way. And the worst part is Subaru knows he'll have to reset, and Rem's sacrifice will be erased. Her death, it's disturbing, bro. Like he's just broken mentally. It's painful, and it's a perfect example of how ReZero builds terror through emotional collapse. What's worse is that even in his lowest moments, Subaru still has to keep moving forward. Rem's comforting him. Rem's comforting him, like giving him some like positive like motivation, stuff like that. But the scars are still there, and he's gonna have to go through constant loops to get to the ending that he wants. If you thought season 1 was bad, season 2 cranks everything up a notch. Like Subaru isn't just like fighting for his life anymore, he's fighting for his fucking sanity. So I thought that his lowest point would be like around episode 18 of season 1. It gets even crazier in season 2. So Echidna, the witch, agreed. The moment she pulls Subaru into her tea party, they get really fucking weird. Echidna doesn't want to kill Subaru. She wants to break him down psychologically. She forces him to relive every trauma, every death, every failure, and she's doing it with a smile. And we start to look at those deaths from a certain perspective, and it's not really clear, right? Whether if he's resetting time or if he's going to a different timeline. Like, it begs the question, after he dies, does that timeline still continues? Does the world just have to live with Subaru's death after that? It makes you wonder, because after I believe it was season 1 episode 23, I think it was 23, where he makes all these friends after defeating the white whale. He kind of saves the village. There was a bit of hiccups here and there, but he saves a lot of people during the village. And then he gets possessed by Betelgeuse, and you can see the pain on everybody's face as they realize that they're gonna have to kill Subaru. They have no choice, you know. It's really sad. Like, despite all the deaths that he's went throughout the season, seeing that, it's fucking heartbreaking. Seeing how everybody reacts to Subaru, and after seeing Echidna, you start to question, like, oh shit, do they have to live with Subaru's death after that, or does everything just reset? You know, I think that's a very interesting question to have. I can't remember if they showed it, but imagine if they showed him that Ayamatsu route from that what if story that the author made. Cause I was watching a video on that from I don't know how to say his name, Echidonut. That's how you say it? A Kid Nut. I was watching a video from a Kid Nut about Ayamatsu, and that story was fucking disturbing, G. Like, that story was fucking disturbing. If Subaru saw that, I don't know what he would. It'd be interesting to see how he would react to that. And by the end of the trials, you realize that, like, a big horror in ReZero isn't just the deaths or the monsters, it's the feeling of hopelessness. No matter what Subaru does, no matter how hard he tries, someone will always die. And he starts to question, like, what is his life even worth? You know, like, what value does his life have? Because the thing about ReZero that's, like, very interesting, the world does not revolve around Subaru. Like, it already had its moving pieces. It already had, like, it already has important people that play before he's even there, and he kind of comes in some main character syndrome, right? And he's thinking he's important when he's really not. And when it got to around, like, episode 17, 18, and 19, when he was trying to convince Crush to help him, like, it's very chilling to see that he is so out of options here. Like, there's nothing that he could do. And when it comes to that decision where he's telling around, he's like, hey, let's just get the fuck out of here, because, like, he's out of options. And honestly, I would have came to that conclusion, like, way before Super. Like, honestly, the first couple of deaths, I would have been fucking out of there. I wouldn't even stay at the mansion, bro. And honestly, like, if Rem's death in season 1 wasn't hard enough, season 2 delivers an even more crushing blow. Rem's entire existence is wiped from everyone's memory from the White Whale battle, right? But then it happens again in season 2 after their encounter with I can't remember his name, but he appears again in season 3. Regulus, I think it was Regulus. Yeah, they have an encounter with Regulus, and, like, nobody, like, Rem is just gone. Like, she is she basically becomes like a fucking what's that guy's name for Kingdom Hearts? Ventus. She becomes like Ventus from Kingdom Hearts, where she is just asleep and there is nothing that Subaru can do. He even tries killing himself to reset. In the end, what makes ReZero kind of scary for me and a little bit terrifying isn't just the brutal deaths and the mind games. Like, those are fucking crazy. Like, I can't imagine the pain that Subaru be going through like during those deaths, especially like the white rabbit scene. Oh my god, I heard in the light novel, he ends up in a fucking seizure when he resets. It was really like it was thanks to Echidna taking him to the tea party that saved him, because he would have just been fucking broken. And I also heard, like, in one of the recent episodes in season 3, the chick, what's her name, Sirius, literally hangs Subaru with like a barbed like a barbed chain or whatever. And I'm hearing like he might have died through cardiac arrest in the light novel, which is even more insane, right? And like there's a huge emotional weight of it. Subaru isn't just fighting for his life, he's fighting to keep his sanity. Like he is fighting to keep his fucking sanity, and you can see it with the what if stories, where like what happens if Subaru gives up, what happens if he loses it, because there are so many chances where like he can just say fuck it and crash out, you know. He can really just detach himself and just keep resetting until he gets what he wants, but at the cost of his own sanity, you know. You see it with the fucking with the Gree what if, you see it with the Ayamatsu what if. That's my favorite one, honestly. Um, all of them, like it's pretty chilling. And with the type of shit that they run into in this verse, there's so many things that can fucking kill you in the ReZero verse. Like that's another thing that's scary to me. Like once they showed the white whale for the first time, I'm like, what the fuck is that thing, dude? In that whole scene with Betelgeuse and the witch's coat, oh my god. And then it's just so that whole anime is scary, you guys. Like that whole anime is fucking scary. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about for today. Like ReZero is it's a trip, and I'm glad it's back. It's probably one of my favorite anime ever at this point, honestly. Like at first I was like, yeah, it's my favorite isekai and stuff like that, but I think I'm starting to like it like as a whole, because there's not a lot of cringy shit, like a lot of like there's not a lot, like the only thing with other anime like Mushoku Tensei, my problem with those is like the main character is literally like a fucking predator, right? But I feel like with ReZero, there's a huge emphasis on story and lore and stuff like that. It feels epic, and it feels like I can actually pay attention to the story without, a whole bunch of anime tropes being shoved into my face. Like there's not a whole lot of there's like some degeneracy here and there, but it's really all for laughs. There's nothing like too crazy, just like verbal jokes. That's really it. Um, but other than that, like I love the way the story is structured, and I can't wait to see more in season 3. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.